Okay, today we're doing a test of this concoction over here that I was given by my freight broker friend. And it's pretty warm outside. I think it's about +1 or 33F. So perfect weather. So I got my hiking poles. The Fit Life is the brand, the Fit Life. I like this because they're telescopic. And this is the restaurant over here. Free coffee. All right, where's my car? So my actually, you know, I kind of like this Sonata. I'm not a fan, to be honest. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Korean vehicles, but I don't know. It looks inside like the quality of plastic and stuff like that, you know, and all these amenities. It looks fine. Except one thing I don't understand is the automatic lights. Somehow it doesn't work properly. You know, like on my car, I leave the lights in auto mode all the time. All right, I don't know, these doesn't seem very big. It's supposed to be like this. They said first you put it on your front. What do you know, check this out. Do you see that? It so has this 9 spikes, but I think what really adds value to this is this. So if you're walking on the paved highway, and because that's where cars would be, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you walk on a highway with these spikes? But check this out, even with this boots, this thing is still pretty flexible. Wow, look at this. Because yeah, it's all rubber, so you don't need to use any you know, ties or anything. It just goes like this. So let's just check it out. I'm gonna go just around my hotel on the snow. Yeah, so it's not a bad car, boys and girls. Like, it's look, the wheels are all aluminum, right? It has the blind spot illuminator here when somebody's passing you. I like that. I don't even have that on my Charger, which cost probably twice as, like, my Charger was 51,000 Canadian, so this is probably, I don't know, 25. Wow, yeah, it's pretty steady, you know. The other day when it was 2 days ago, when it was slippery, right? It was freezing rain and +1, and man, I went around this. Oh wow, look at these guys over here. So these are some kind of rail trucks, but they have no, oh, they have railroad wheels. See that? And it's another one in the middle, whole bunch of them. Oh wow, some kind of a specialized truck. So yeah, and I was walking here And I remember quite a few times I almost fell, and the only thing that saved me were these hiking poles, because I was able to, you know, support myself kind of like on all fours. But I love this, I'm telling you guys, this is the, if you're a trucker and you're looking for some exercise, this is the easiest way, because it gives you much better workout than when you're just walking, because it also stresses your, you know, your arms, your chest, your back. So it's kind of like skiing, like, right, you're using a ski, except that this thing is a telescopic and it's a carbon fiber, so it weighs nothing. And then you just unsnap these blue ones over here and it becomes like this long. So I think it's a perfect exercise tool for a trucker. And if you want more impact on your muscles, then you do what I did and buy a weighted vest. I have it in my truck. I can go all the way to 70 pounds so far, and there's like pockets in there, right, where you put weights. I think each bag, it's like a bag with sand, adds about 4 pounds. And so I put 4 in the front, 4 in the back, so I have 32 pounds, and it feels pretty good. So far I only use it once. So yeah, these work very nice, you know, I like these. I thought it would be very difficult to put them on, but it's not that bad. It's actually easy. The only thing is, these are for outdoor use only, right? So you don't want to be using them somewhere, you know, on a pavement or inside a hallway. But yeah, I was walking here 3 days ago when it was slippery. Man, it was a challenge without these. It's not too bad now, it's not that slippery, but thanks to Rob, freight broker Rob from Nisku/Leduc, for these nice presents. So he gave me, like, I don't know, 50 pairs of socks, he gave me this winter jacket, and he gave me these slippers, not sure how to call them, these spiked ones, right? They're really good. And these were inspired by my now 85-year-old mom, who uses similar hiking poles to practice what they call over there Skandinavskaya ходьба. Skandinavskaya ходьба, which Scandinavia is the Russian name for the country where I'm guessing they think it originated, Scandinavia. But the English term, what they use over here, is called Nordic walking. Nordic, and if you search on Amazon, you can use Nordic walking poles. Well, basically what they are, they're just hiking poles, right? We didn't need any fancy words like Nordic and Scandinavian, because people have been using these a long time ago when you're hiking in on some difficult terrain, because these poles, you know, drastically improve your stability, you know. And, like, you know, if you're trying to fall down, if you're slippering and you're about to fall down, you can use these to support yourself. But I'm telling you, this is a really great way to, because, you know, honestly, like, how many beers you want to have lying down on a sofa, you know, before you realize you have to get up of your fat ass and do something. Oh yeah, and I'm meeting a friend tomorrow. I didn't realize it was so close. Man, look at this. I'm meeting a friend, another fan, Mark. Mark is, I call him Mark the Fuel Guy. That's how he's saved in my contacts on my phone, because I always use the first name and then I use an identifier which helps me remember where I met the person. Usually I use a town's name, but in this case I put in Mark the Fuel Guy because he's a part-time fuel tanker driver, and he pulls those awesome double tankers, just kind of like what you see over there. And by the way, I wanted to bring my truck over here because, especially in the middle of the day, this place is open. Like, you can see a double tanker parked over there, so I'm pretty sure it would not be a problem for me to come like this with my 107-foot long rig and just park there where that fuel tanker guy is parked, you know. But it's not very safe. There's people come and go all the time, but of course my hotel is right there. But you know, I extended my car by one more day because now the weather is beautiful and we have this Basha Donair here. I love that place. I just got like a burrito, you know, the size of a small airplane with 5 pounds of meat in there for about 13 bucks Canadian. And then conveniently located next to it is the that little store there with all kinds of brands of fire water, which you need when it's cold outside. You know, like the other day, right? It was minus 28, and so yeah, I idled the engine from 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. because I was afraid that it would just die. And I was lying in bed here and I felt sorry for the poor truck, because of course these modern engines, you don't want to idle them, because then it screws up your DEF filter, and it's pretty expensive to replace that one. So yeah, I like these. So this was a test run for this rubber contraption, so works very well when you're walking on ice. Okay, and so I extended the car rental by tomorrow. I mean till tomorrow. So, but I still have to go there by 10 a.m. to return it. So I don't know what I want to do with these. Shall I leave them in the car? Probably not. But my hotel, I extended it till tomorrow as well. I think I'll extend it again. I like this hotel, very nice, with a nice restaurant downstairs. But yeah, the car, I'm gonna give it back to the rental place tomorrow. But yeah, I enjoy driving this car, except one big disadvantage for me is it's totally silent. I don't know, it's like electric or something, you know, like you cannot hear the exhaust at all. For me, that's a really big problem. So if I had this car, like, my charger is much more loud. Like, I didn't change a thing on the charger, right? But the charger with the 5.7 Hemi, you can feel, you know, the performance undertone of that car. Like this one, it's kind of like mom's and pop's car, you know. It's so quiet, it's comfortable, it's super nice, but you don't feel the engine. It sounds like it doesn't have an engine. But check out the wheels. You know, these are not your basic wheels with these It's like two-color, two-tone wheel, you know. What size are these? Probably 17. I cannot see. Maybe 15. 215, 17. So 17-inch wheels. And of course now it looks dirty. When I picked it up, because it was sitting indoors, it was all white, super clean. So I was catching some glances from people. What the heck? You know, there was a snowstorm right everywhere. And this car was so nice, but yeah, the wheels are great. So that's what's happening, boys and girls. So today I was talking to a couple of brokers about a load. Yeah, let me just take these off and oh, and I'll show you how small they become. See, that's it. That's one. See, this is open, this is closed. And they tell you that it comes with a little booklet that tells you how much you have to open it. It depends on your height. And they tell you what market to go to. You see, look at this. Beautiful. You know? And so these you just start in reverse order. You start from the back. And you see it has a little... It has this thing here, so it's easy to grab. Yeah. Very useful. Very useful. I should probably, you know what I should do is I should ask my brother to look for something like this, maybe buy this for my mother, because I'm always concerned, you know, with her walking around there and on these slippery sidewalks, and she's 85 years old, and we all know what happens when a 85-year-old woman flops down and breaks her hip. That's it. The hip cannot grow back together, right? There's not enough calcium in the body, and so these would be really great. Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna send it to my brother Alex, see if he can find them in Moscow. All right, I'm back at my hotel, and I started White House down. And a friend of mine suggested, you know, instead of buying a second monitor for my computer, like a bigger monitor I can carry around, I got a HDMI cable, because quite a few modern TVs have HDMI port, and my MacBook supports that. So now I'm gonna be watching White House down on this, I'm thinking it's like 84-inch LG TV, and it goes out of my computer, you know. Anyway, just wanted to mention a couple of loads that I was talking to, and this will give you a little bit of glimpse what I have to deal with as a trucker. So load number one, interesting load. I moved them before. It's one of those big forklifts that you see sometimes at seaports, loading containers. One of the popular brands is called Taylor. And actually once I moved a brand new machine from the plant, I think they're in Louisiana. I moved it to Quebec, Canada. But that one has no wheels. I still remember it was, I don't think it had, no forks, because it's a very big machine. Once it has the wheels and the forks. And so this guy, I asked him what it is. He says, yeah, it goes from Alberta to Kentucky, I think, right? It would be a perfect load, not too heavy. I think it was like either 60 or 80,000 pounds, but he sends me the make and model. I look at the specs online, and I see that it's 13 feet tall, right? This guy says, no, it's 7.5 feet tall. I said, wait, did they take off the forks? No, but the forks can be tilted. It's going to be 7 and 5. And I look at the specs, and it clearly states that the angle that they can tilt the forks down or this way, it's 12 degrees. So if the forks are 13 feet tall and you only flip them like this, they're going to be 7, which is pretty much half, right? It just doesn't make sense. And so then I look at the specs online again, because this guy was using the number 137 inches. He says, I'm going by this. And he actually sends me a screenshot of that. And it's pretty much exactly the same website I was looking at. But for some reason, the number he looked at, it's not the actual height of the machine, but how high the forks can go. You know, let's say you have a container, you put your forks under the container and then you lift it. And so 137 inches, that's how high your forks can go, right? I said, yeah, that's 7.5 feet. That's not the height of the machine. I said, the height of the machine, look at this. And I sent him a screenshot. It's 160 inches, so 13 feet 1 inch. And I'm pretty sure you cannot move this on a beam trailer. I don't think, unless it has all that solid frame underneath. I said, you have to take the forks off, you know. Okay, what's going to be your price? And so I sent him my quote. The guy disappeared. So basically, a typical scenario, a broker is trying to find a carrier to move a machine he has no clue about, you know. He claims it's 7.5 feet, where in fact it's 13 feet. You know, it makes it very difficult. So he tries to hire me, and I'm the carrier is telling him what the dimensions are. Like, how crazy is that, right? And then the second load was, what was it? It was a dozer. It was a dozer, a D8, Cat D8, so about 80,000 pounds. And this guy says, we got a quote from a carrier, like a super low quote, like $4 a mile. And he says, after we secured the contract with the customer, the original carrier bailed out. And first off, it's always a good idea to get at least 3 quotes. If you're a broker, right? You don't just get 1 quote. So these guys claim they got this super cheap quote, 1 quote, the guy disappeared. So now they're trying to move this D8. And I said, okay, so it's 1,200 miles, you know. So I said, this is what I want based on the weight and plus permits. And then I said, okay, I looked up the cost of permits. I said, here's what I need, which of course is much more than $4 a mile. You know, you cannot move a D8 unless you're totally nuts for $4 a mile, you know. And I said, hey, even dry vans. And yeah, I started getting a bit impatient. I said, that's a dry van rate nowadays. $4 a mile, you know, like $3.99, $3.95 a mile. That's a dry van rate. And I said, I don't think a dozer will fit into a dry van unless you get like an alien driver, you know, alien, no visa driver that's desperate, you know. And then I sent a copy of this to my broker freight broker friend, and he says, maybe it's better to keep emotions out of this, you know. He says, maybe just tell them, hey, the rate is not reasonable, you know, this is what I want. If this works with your customer, get back to me, you know. Just don't try to play these sarcastic jokes about drive and rates and stuff like that, and desperate drivers. People don't like this kind of, you know, very few people appreciate my kind of humor, you know, when I try to I try to be funny, and they get offended. And oh, okay, and the last load I spent half a day working on. So this idiot has a load from Canada to California. you know. And I did this before. I'm just trying to be proactive. I'm trying to help people. I say, okay, I cannot go into California because of my booster and because of my truck, but I can take it to Las Vegas. If you want me to take it to Las Vegas, here's my rate plus permits. If you give it to your customer and you are okay with my rate, I'll tell you the approximate cost of permits. But I don't want to waste my time looking at permits if my rate is too high, and if they don't want to ship it to Las Vegas and then again to California, right? So some people are, you know, I had some bad reactions from people where I offered them this to do like a split shipment, and they were, you know, sarcastic, and I got some bad reactions before. And so I was just brief. I said, okay, here's my rate. You know, I'm trying to help out. If your customer agrees and you're willing to do like a reload in Las Vegas, let me know. And this guy got interested. He starts asking me about, okay, what do you think the permits will cost? Okay, so I go to this website, I check out the cost of permits. It's not too bad. So I give him my final rate all in. And I say, okay, here's the company in Las Vegas I know we used before on a different load with a different broker. I know they can do it. They have all kinds of trailers. But this guy starts dialing that number like 10 times in 10 minutes. And he says, oh, it's just voicemail. So he cannot get in touch with him, you know, because he was trying to get a quote, a rate, how much it'll cost to move this 83,000 pound machine from Las Vegas to Los Angeles, California. 9 feet wide, 8 feet tall. So it's very low, but heavy, right? And so I finally call him. I call him myself. I said, hey guys, this is Sergei, the Canadian trucker. I worked with him before. We're trying to do this load from Alberta with the reload in Las Vegas, trying to use you as the final carrier to deliver this. And this guy says, was it? And he says the name of the agent. I said, yeah. He says, well, I told him to send an email with all the dimensions. He says, he kept calling me like 10 times in like 15 minutes, and I was on the phone with other people. So he says, I just blocked his number. And that's why the agent couldn't get through. And I said, okay, but I said, can you do it? He says, yeah, we can do it. But he said this machine was like 30 feet long. He says, none of my trailers have a deck of 30 feet, have a well, right? And I said, wait, it should not be that long. I said, I look at the dimensions online. I thought it was like more like 26, but I'll get in touch with him. And so if it's 26, you can do it, right? He says, yeah, if it's 25, 26, we can help you. Okay. And so the final email of the day was, I emailed this agent, the broker, and I said, okay, here's the picture from the website of that manufacturer. Could you please confirm that these are the correct dimensions? And that was like around 3 o'clock local time, which is 5 o'clock in the east. And the guy disappeared. I didn't hear back from them. So those were like three final loads I was working. But I mean, today was the first day after I finished all my paperwork. So today I was at the Starbucks around 7 a.m. local time. And I was working the load boards, you know, sending out quotes, emailing people. So I'm in full booking mode. Unfortunately, Thursday, so I couldn't do anything. So now we have Friday. And if I cannot book anything tomorrow, then I'm guessing I'm going to stay here over the weekend, maybe rent another car. And I wanted to go to Calgary to that. They have that wilderness park over there, you know, like a wildlife reserve. Maybe go and take some pictures. So that's what's happening. That's just basically the news from the captain. So trying to book a load. Finally, the weather's good. It's like +1 or +2, 33, 34 F. The freeze is over. That's it. The summer is almost here. Ciao.